Hi, Evelyn.
Hi, Brittany.
How are you?
Good. How's it going?
It's going good.
Good.
So, just like at the beginning of every session, I just need to review the confidentiality piece. So, just being mindful about that I am a mandated reporter, and that at any time if we're talking, I don't want this to negate you from sharing anything with me, because this is a safe, open environment. But if there's any report of physical abuse or neglect, harm to yourself or other people with a plan and intent, and if it ever comes up, I can kind of explain a little bit more into that. Any report of issues with vulnerable adults, and that includes adults and children. And then if for any reason you're involved with any court system and they would possibly subpoena me for any report or anything, I legally have to provide that to them. But like I said, if any of this stuff comes up, I will let you know beforehand, and we can kind of have a conversation about it.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. So fill me in on what's been going on.
Well, the last week or so, I think things are semi-decent, but I keep returning because the help is needed to get through my issues here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last time we kind of talked about the social support aspect. Positives, cons. How do you feel like the social support aspect is going?
Well, being that I've been quite busy, I haven't had much chance to reach out to others, but I've talked to my siblings about things, and I mean, they get it. However, I still need some help, because I always call them when things are more so kind of in a crisis mode versus reaching out during the week or whatever, before shit hits the fan.
Sure. So it sounds like in some regard it's kind of been beneficial, right?
Yeah.
To have that social support. I do just want to bring up, last time we had spoke, you had mentioned, feeling more comfortable with talking with your husband about the symptoms and that you're experiencing, and just generally kind of what's going on. It sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, that you haven't reached out to him yet?
Yeah, I haven't. I
Okay.
haven't really reached out. And it's sad because he's been around this last week. He's taken some time off of work just because of summer. Sure. And so been spending time more with me and the kids. However, me and the kids, we've been kind of still doing our own thing, and I don't know. It's just, I wouldn't say it's hard to talk to him, but it's that feeling kind of powerless.
Okay.
Yeah, as if I'm losing control. But yeah, I mean, I'm starting to sweat right now.
Okay.
Because
you're okay. We're in a safe space.
Okay.
I just wanted to kind of bring that to your attention.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you mention powerless, can you kind of clarify or elaborate on that?
Well, I mean, I come from a strong family, and I'm typically the one who's the grounded one, the level-headed one.
Okay.
And so I believe if I don't follow that, then it's a sense of that I'm not strong, and I'm weak.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Pretty powerful words.
yeah, my family's it's on one scale or the other. There's not too many things in between. So yeah, if you're not strong, you're weak. If you're not tough, that sort of thing, then yeah, you're wuss. And even for girls in my family, so
Sure.
It's not even a gender thing. Yeah.
So it sounds like when we think about kind of our values and our belief system, something that sounds like it's important to you to establish feeling powerful and not weak.
Yes.
That match kind of with how you feel. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you can, how does that relate to the anxiety symptoms that you experience?
Well, it relates in a sense to where when I start to feel that I'm losing that control and I feel more vulnerable to people saying, "Are you okay? Do you need help? Or what's going on?" That's when I'm like out of whatever situation, environment, whatever I'm in,
Sure.
just so then I don't appear to look weak.
Sure. Are there any emotions or thoughts that you feel when thinking about being vulnerable or weak?
Yeah, emotions, as far as like, of course, I feel intense, like my heart's racing, and an emotion then would be that, of course, I feel anxious, like I feel that I could use some help, but I don't reach for that help, and those are like thoughts going in my head, and I feel scared. I mean, I feel scared, and
There it is,
yeah, and it's it's a shitty feeling. It just is. So, yeah.
Those feelings are, it would be really difficult, especially if you kind of identify yourself as a powerful person.
Yeah.
I could see that would be, it's kind of contradictory, right?
It is. And it's hard to even be aware of like what the actual emotion I'm feeling at that time, because then I try to block it out. I try to make myself believe that this isn't happening. This isn't real and this isn't me. So it'll just go away. However, it just keeps getting worse, and yeah.
So this might sound kind of off topic, but how have the panic attacks been going?
I would say more so, I think a little hidden at this time.
Okay. Hidden in what way?
In what way? Because I've been home more, and honestly, a little bit more afraid to even talk to my husband about it. So, yeah, which is tough. Yeah. So, yeah.
So you've mentioned kind of two primary emotions, which is being scared and fear. And those are two pretty strong emotions, very closely related to anxiety. And so when we think about our mind and our thoughts and emotions, those can kind of cause those body sensations of going back a couple sessions ago when you were talking about sweaty palms and you feel like your heart is racing, and those are pretty normal, for the lack of a better word, presentations of panic.
Okay.
So it's not, oftentimes people feel like they're having a heart attack or I'm gonna die, and your body will tap out from that, but kind of bringing it full circle, feeling scared and fearful sounds like a basis of your anxiety and thoughts.
That makes sense. I mean, because even like right now, of course, with the whole sweating, like, yeah, I don't feel myself. But once I feel that occurring, I can almost tell myself, okay, Evelyn, calm down. It's going to be fine. So, like now, it's easier for me not to let it get, to the point where my heart's racing, because I get the first sign or whatever of the sweating. So I kind of pay attention to that, which I have honestly for years. So
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, it is good, but I think I'm gonna like bring it down to my kids at some point, and I don't want to do that. I don't, they're not having fun because of me removing them from situations when we're out, and that's not good. Yeah.
So the interesting part is that the fear has started with yourself. And then you just mentioned another fear of bringing it down into your children.
Yeah.
And so thinking about kind of the ways that we can work between you and I, what we're doing to manage that fear, to manage that anxiety, and possibly having a conversation with them and telling them, you know, this is where I'm at, and so we can eliminate that fear a little bit more of transferring that anxiety down to your children.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense. That'd be great to know kind of what to do to prevent that, or in the future.
Yeah. Have any of your kids kind of presented with anxiety that would kind of spark the belief that it might be transferring down?
No, I don't think they're young. They're young, and of course, to me right now they're just kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you know, my family, we cover up a lot of things and act like they're not there, but they're there.
Mm-hmm.
So like things like anxiety, just you got it, girl. That's no big deal. You can deal with it. Yeah. You're basically crazy if you have anything in my family.
Sure.
So,
Sure. No,
yeah.
And it's learned, right?
Oh, yeah.
So from like even your mom to you and your mom's mom to her, you know, it's very generational.
Absolutely.
You know, we
Absolutely.
learn things.
Yeah. And that comes from that you're tough. You can handle it.
Yeah.
What is that? Get over it. Yeah. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
And it is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because you experience it, it's very real.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out one thing is, although you stated these feelings of being scared and fearful, it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, that somewhere in there you have a positive mindset, however, about this. And that you're motivating to yourself and you're motivating to your children. So my question is, would it be possible to kind of manifest that positivity?
That's a good question. Like, in what way? Like,
So manifesting positivity in thinking of yourself. So when we experience those negative thoughts, something that you can do to combat that negative thought is, let's say I have a thought that I'm a negative person or I'm a horrible person. One positive thing that you can do is to counteract that statement. So when you have those thoughts of I'm a bad person or I'm having the anxiety and this feels really shitty, saying I'm strong, I'm safe, and I can do this. And so within that, you're kind of manifesting that positivity.
oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do that.
Sure.
I'm strong.
Yeah. There you go. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, anything else that has been kind of going on? I haven't seen you in a couple weeks, so.
No, I've just been trying to stay busy. I'm just always busy anyway, so it's like goes without saying in a way.
Sure.
The kids, for the most part, they have been like around a little bit more, so because there's no school, so they've been kind of getting on my damn nerves as well. So honestly, I would really say my anxiety is a little bit worse just being at home. And
Okay.
my husband, he's helpful, but not at the same time. So with him being at home a little bit more has been a little annoying as well. And I have found myself now spending more time like in the bathroom for no reason, and I'm like not even doing anything in there. But
Okay.
yeah, the kids are knocking at the door. Yeah, my husband's yelling, "Babe, you got the kids," and I'm like not even answering because I just need some time away from all of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We all need time. And I think it's really important that you bring up, you have all these demands, right? As like a person, as a wife, as a mom. And so, what do you do to take care of yourself?
Go in the bathroom.
Go in the bathroom. And that's good. I mean, we need a break. When the bathroom is not available.
I know what you meant by that. But it's a good escape, just like temporary escape. But honestly, it doesn't really do anything at the same time because I still have to face what's outside that door, which too becomes just as annoying and frustrating and makes me sweat and makes me want to grab something because it's just too intense. Things are too intense. But typically self-care things, I tried to, like, of course, just go outside because it's like kind of just looking at nature and looking at the green grass and looking at the trees and especially like right now, summertime's like my favorite. So yeah. So and even if it's like 90, 100 degrees outside, I'm like outdoors because I love it. It's it just feels so good. It's like rejuvenating. Like it's uplifting. So I try to do that by myself.
I like the summer too. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like early in the morning before anyone's up, like I'm outside in my PJs, just sitting on the stairs with a cup of coffee, sweating now just from drinking coffee, and it's humid as heck outside. But that's like my kind of like my get up and go. Like I almost need to do that. So even if it's cloudy out or whatever, I still go outside and do that in the morning before I get my day started. Because by the time the kids are up, we're just go. And of course, then it's work. At work is okay, but it's hectic. Shit can hit the fan there at any given time. So I just try to look at work as work, and I don't bring it home at all. So I just deal with the day as it comes, and if it becomes too much too fast, I can take a break, like whenever I feel like it. And then by the time, of course, I get off of work, get the kids, that sort of thing, then dinner, bedtime. So it's like getting them ready. And some days I'm like, can these kids just grow up? Like, when is that going to happen?
Right.
Yeah. But so then my husband, he's not around that much. So it is like me not having much time. But then it's like either early in the morning and late at night I can have time to myself to, then I'll take like long showers or just sit in quietness because like reading does nothing for me. And I just need more peace, more quiet things. Sometimes I turn on. Even the sound of the television is soothing, which is bizarre because I'm not even watching it, but I can just have the television on and just sit there and just try to clear my head and not even think about anything. So I'm more so just trying to dump information out and that sort of thing.
Do those, what you're describing are coping skills, which is fantastic, in your ability to use anything in your surroundings to kind of be able to, okay, it's the end of the day, and now I'm going to relax. And so that goes to my previous question about how are you relaxing? What are you doing for self-care? And it sounds like you're doing it very well, actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's good. So in terms of reading and music, this sounds, again, I'm going to kind of go back to one of the statements that you had made, in terms of work. I know we haven't really talked about that much. Do you experience anxiety when you're at work?
Yeah, I do. I do for sure. Yeah. More so at work, it's usually like the opposite of what I would do for my kids. Like remove my kids if I feel like that, that racing hard and sweating and that sort of thing. At work is more so I get the sweats and my mouth gets dry and I'm more so just tense up, and sometimes I yell at people because coworkers,
Okay.
yeah, coworkers. I get more angry or irritable, that sort of thing. So that's when I know I'm like out of my body kind of deal, and I'm not myself. So, but that would be my anxiety, because then I get more so frustrating that they're not being team players and not helping me do, my job as I would help them do theirs and that sort of thing. So yeah, I honestly do.
Okay.
Yeah, and it pisses me off.
How so? Can you?
Yeah, so it pisses me off. So then, of course, I get like intense. Like, I'm like yelling at them, like, how come you're not doing this? And what the heck's going on? And this is ridiculous. We should be done by now, because it's just go, go, go. Especially like in urgent care. And it's like, you should have been doing this or could have did that first. And that, it's just intense. So for me, it's like common sense things, and how come it's not being done? You know your job, and you're just waiting for me to do it because I'm in charge. Heck no, I'm not doing every freaking thing, and they don't like it, of course, when I yell at them, but it's like, these things, me, so why are you doing this right now? And it's ridiculous. So at that time, if I'm yelling, I don't even feel bad about it. However, at the same time, I can feel my voice like changing, like getting kind of frazzled, because I don't want to do it or say it, but I'm already like at my breaking point, like shaking sometimes, and the